Camp. We're back with another week of the BPA King of TV Bowling, and Jen, this week coming from Eastgate.
That's right, another what I like to refer to as a fine betting house establishment. They'd like me to remind you that they have a St. Patrick's Day Classic going on March 17th and 18th.
And today, Dave, we've got another fine match right out of the gate.
A classic, you got it. Nick Vogelgesang, the strong right-hander, and Riga Kalfas, the consistent hot-handed left-hander.
And, of course, Glenn Meese, our champion, is here as well. We'll have it all for you coming right up on the BPA King of TV Bowling.
Look out. Wow.
6 deliveries, 6 strikes. I like him to cover a few boards, too, but he's got to cover the pocket up, and he does that time. That was only perfect.
Would like to build on his lead.
It's close again. Yeah, he likes it. He's even running that one out.
Greater Cincinnati BPA 14K King of Bowling. Brought to you by 14K, Cincinnati's legendary premium beer. 14K, the one, the only, the original.
We're back with our opening match here. Nick Vogelgesang against Riga Kalfas. Nick's going to get things started for us here on the left lane. Lane number 11.
Last week we saw youth prevailing once again. Nick, age 23, Riga, age 22.
So it's the youngsters, Dave, that are stirring up all the noise here on the BPA King of TV Bowling.
Well, the old saying, youth will be served. It's a different game nowadays, and the younger players are more equipped to throw the ball at the speeds necessary to score big. Now, the game is still great for everyone. It's just that these guys have actually mastered a change in the lane conditioning over the last 3 to 4 years that the ABC has inducted, and they can do it better than the older guys can, for right now anyway.
How did those lane conditions change? They oil down a little further or a little less?
Actually, a little less, George. Lane dressing used to end somewhere between 28 and 35 feet down the 60-foot lane, and now the lane conditioning or dressing stops between 21 and 23 feet, basically. So the ball goes into an earlier roll, and the players physically throw the ball a little harder to get it down the lane further.
Riga Kalfas, 22 years old. He liked the lane conditions on that shot.
Both these gentlemen have a lot of attributes. Mr. Vogelgesang making the top 32, and the Hoinky Super Classic just bowled phenomenal. He also broke the jackpot pins for $5,400. And George, you probably don't know what those are. Those heavier weighted pins.
Oh, yeah. I've done some jackpot bowling there. Yeah. Never won.
Well, take a look at this jackpot. This is a bonanza for Riga Kalfas on this left lane. Lane number 11 treats him well. Of course, he treats the 1-2 pocket brutally. 10 in a pit. Great shot by Riga Kalfas, opening the show with a double. But Nick Vogelgesang is not going to run away and hide. The big turning, torquing dude will be there.
In fact, he describes his style as crank it up.
Pump up the volume.
There you go.
Yeah. He doesn't let anything on the table either, George. And his type of game is similar in some ways to a Glenn Meese, the roll of the ball, the action on the pins. That is a great shot also. Nick Vogelgesang starting slowly, but once he gets it cranked up, Jen, you've seen him go time and time again, just strike after strike.
He's phenomenal. And not only that, he really makes his fair as well. And for that is why he's got so many accomplishments. I found something interesting on Riga's paper. Of course, all these gentlemen hand in papers to us telling all about themselves. Riga just switched to a 4-step approach this year with the help of Diane Cushman. And after all the success he's had last year...
Well, he's actually had a fabulous year, and this replay will show a fabulous shot. Riga Kalfas starting with the first 3. This is frame number 3 you're watching. The 1-2 pocket again. The ball's going to jump a little to the left and deflect, take the 8-pin straight back, but the action on the 7 is plenty to create a triple for Riga Kalfas. And Riga, again, is the guy that provided us with all the excitement 2 years ago with a 299 on television.
He opens this match with 4 in a row.
That's about the way all 11 of them were, too, Jen. They were flush, 10 in the pit, just absolutely textbook type of shots. Nick Vogelgesang takes a little less time, just goes up, straps away at it, and creates that kind of action.
We are seeing some bowling here.
Take a look at it. Right here, generates the power, cupped wrist, a little snarl there at the end for a little extra rotation. Head pin center your string goes to the wall, and there's nothing left for it to come back with. That was a Red Sea strike, I think. Parted the waves.
Right, Nick takes very little time once he gets up on the approach.
And he's going to take very little time as long as he's throwing one ball of frame. That's 4 in a row for Nick Vogelgesang, answering Riga Kalfas' start of this match with 4 in a row. So Nick Vogelgesang technically 10 pins behind, but both players working on perfection.
Qualifying today is being conducted at Durban Bowl down in Indiana. Come on out and join the fun.
Riga Kalfas perfect through 4. Looking to make it 5 right here. Got it.
Absolutely perfect. Again, George, I mean, this man is giving a bowling clinic right now that everyone should watch. The eyes will... the eyes, they hurt. But the eyes, again, give you an indication of what the man is thinking. This particular man works very, very hard on his game and is one of the premier left-handed players in the area this year. He's just throwing scores everywhere that he goes.
Working on the first 5 in a row.
Six in a row.
The eyes, I'm telling you, the eyes have it. Riga Kalfas has got it today. Watch him. Now they look down at his target. Down at his target. They do not move until the ball is through the target. 10 in a pit.
10 in a pit for Nick Vogelgesang, too, here in the 6th frame. These men are going toe-to-toe, matching strike for strike. I mean, how do you explain Riga Kalfas perfect through 6, yet he only has a 10-pin lead?
Well, you explain it by the competitor not being intimidated whatsoever and playing his own game. Nick's first frame, the only frame that he did not strike in, was one of his slower shots. And since then, our statistician, John Burton, tells us that he was amping it up around 18.5, 19 miles an hour on all those strikes. And I am relatively sure that that one will chart in quite a bit slower. 4, 6, 10.
Uh-oh. Just threw that away.
Whoa.
Well, throwing away 2 pins on a strike becomes 4 pins in your total, and sometimes 4 pins, you've seen it more than once, can be a backbreaker.
We talked about Riga switching to 4 steps, and it was Diane Cushman that helped him. Nick Vogelgesang earned the right to the show by defeating Alan Downs, her boyfriend, in the roll-off this morning.
Kalfas in the 7th.
Absolutely perfect.
The man from Alexandria, Kentucky. Perfect through 7.
Riga Kalfas is perfect through 7. Got a little bit more paper to fill up here. Like I told you, he's the guy, the only guy in recent history that has given us a thrill here on the show with the first 11, and that was 2 years ago at Super Bowl.
And I remember there was a Ford Taurus at that time in the parking lot ready for him to drive away. This time we have $15,000 put up by the Greater Cincinnati Bowling Proprietors Association.
Yeah, that's right, George.
Buy him a nice automobile.
You can get just about any kind of automobile you want for that.
All right.
8 in a row.
A bowling clinic.
I did mention it, and he did strike, so the jinx is broken.
Jinx is off.
Thank you, Riga.
Not only, he's going to carry it here on the replay, too. Nick Vogelgesang not taking any time whatsoever to get up there and just throw an absolute crusher. In the 8th frame, the best Nick can do would be to take it out for 250 range, but I'm telling you what, when you got a guy that's got the first 8 up already posted, your attitude changes a little bit.
I guess so.
Nevertheless, should Riga Kalfas falter, Nick Vogelgesang wants to be somewhere in the same ballpark to be able to pick up the fumble, but you've got a man with 8 perfect 1-2 pocket shots. 9th frame.
What's going through the mind at this point?
Well, the disciplined player, it doesn't make any difference, George. You go up and you divide your game into segments, and 1 frame is a segment, and he is working on 1 good delivery at a time.
Looking for 9. That's the break.
9th frame now. Watch it on the replay. He's going to get a break, almost a bad break. 7-10 will be the last 2 you see standing up, but they vacate the premises. There's the 7-10. Out, and you get out, and we've got the first 9, 15 grand riding on the next 3 deliveries.
Riga has gone all the way 6 times in his career for 300 games. I don't know if he's picked up 15 grand for any of those.
I doubt it seriously.
He can do it here in the 10th.
Okay, no sigh. No sign that anything's going to be different, at least in his setup.
There's 1.
Absolutely perfect. His setup remained consistent, George. You called it. You want to see it. Riga Kalfas is putting on one heck of a bowling clinic for us. Repetition. Again, no sign of sighing, no sign of nervousness. Going through his routine, 1 frame at a time.
And of course, it's been a great many years since we've seen a 300, has it not, Dave?
Goes all the way back to Mr. Dieter's Stones Lanes, and it's been a decade ago at least.
Riga Kalfas 2 strikes away from 15 grand. Went high.
You heard the player in the background yelling, "Hole, hole." That's Ron Bonner, one of his fellow left-handers. Knowing that he pulled up on the shot right at the point of release, Nick Vogelgesang just going to finish out just to get out of the way. Obviously, Riga Kalfas, our winner of this match.
Wow, what an exhibition.
Absolutely.
88 for Riga Kalfas in match number 1. He will win this thing.
Nick, very kindly. Very kindly just getting out, and we are going to get out of here and go watch a little Golden Ball contest. George Vogel, I'd like to see if you can give some money away.
Will do.